Hi everybody, it's Shirley Ann here from Hague Property Solutions. I hope you are all well. So I wanted to touch on a couple of ways that you can make money in property. So if you're new to investing and you're thinking of getting into property, but you're not really sure whether you should, what the gains are, you're kind of unsure whether the effort will be worth the worries and things like that. So what I wanted to do is just give you a quick summary about the multiple ways that you can make money from basic buy-to-lets. So let's start with a property in Liverpool. Let's use £100,000 typical ex-local authority house. So you basically, if you were to buy that property without any creative financing, just normal standard buying a buy-to-let, lenders will give you 75% of the value and you will generally put in 25%. Now, the benefit of this, unlike any other investments available to people, you put in 25%, the bank put in 75%, but you get the opportunity to get 100% of all capital appreciation. So this is why investing in property, in my opinion, is a really good way of making your money work for you, as opposed to something like shares. So you put 100 grand of your money into shares, or you put 25 grand of your money into shares and they went up 25%, you'd literally get 25% of 25 grand. Whereas if you put 25 grand of your own money into property and that 100 grand property went up 20 grand and 20%, you'd get 20% of the 100 grand. So that's where people, they don't really think about that when they're starting out. And it's really important to always do return on investments on your money. So number one, you've made money because you've bought a property in the right area and that property's gone up. And if you buy property in the long term, we might see ups and downs in the property market. But my advice in all of my training courses is don't buy for the short term, buy for the long term, and you will eventually get that capital appreciation regardless of whether the market is good, bad, up, down. So that's number one. Secondly, the biggest way to make money from property for me is cash flow. So we don't buy to have that capital appreciation. What we focus on when we do our analysis is how much money per month will this property give me in my pocket. So let's use the same £100,000 property. So on average, a property that you buy for £100,000, a ready-made deal that, is all, doesn't even need work on it, you would get a property all ready to let out for that kind of money. So you put your money in, and then a mortgage on 75% of 100 grand would come in around about the sort of 180 mark to 200, depending on your rate, depending on how you buy it. You'd then have your management fees on top, about £50. So you'd get about 200, and your outgoings would be about £250. But your rent that comes in would be £550. So your pre-tax profit per month on that property would be £300. So you've got two streams of income from the same amount of money. You've got the cash flow and you've got the capital appreciation. But this is where it gets brilliant. Once your property has gone up in value and you've realised that capital appreciation, what you can do is you can do a further advance or a remortgage, and you can put additional lending on that mortgage. And then what you can do is you can pull all your money out. So your money invested in that property is, in some cases, we've got property where we've got zero money invested in that property because we've refinanced and we've pulled it out. But we still get the value of the appreciation and we still make a monthly cash flow. Cash flow goes down a little bit because we've pulled our money out, but we take that chunk of money and we go and repeat. So that's what people, if you ever see the term called buy, and then it's basically refurbish, rent refinance, BRRR. And that's the strategy that we did. And we went from 0 to 17 properties in just 3 years. And, you know, my ex-husband at the time, he retired at the age of 30. So he gave up his job. I decided to stay and work because I love working and I'm a bit mad and I enjoy the working hard. But we could have both retired, but I chose to carry on working. But now I've been made redundant, I've stepped back into the property business. And what we wanted to do is really just share all our top tips, because sometimes people think investing in property is risky business. And you know what? There are risks involved. But one of the things that we teach on our training course is how to minimize those risks. And one of the things that we tell people is the bigger you expand your portfolio, the smaller your risk gets. And the reason that's the case is if you have one property and you've got a void, you are liable for that money and those mortgages. Whereas if you have a portfolio, we've not had, other than one property in the 50 that we look after, we've not had any voids this year. So one out of 50 it has been. So those properties have been full most of the time, bar the one. So it's been a great time to invest in property. We're seeing really good returns, and we show people how to expand safely, confidently, and to minimize risk while also creating additional cash flow and increasing your probability of capital gains. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, please get in touch. I'll be adding videos constantly on this on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. But I will be putting online very shortly a training course which people can go on to and learn all of our top tips. So keep watching, keep an eye out for that, and watch this space. Hope that was useful, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye bye now.